We are preparing to do a battle host game. This is the first one for Drubaka and Lumpy. We have chosen to meet at 1750 for points. The Ogres are not pointed well enough to be able to do 1750. We can get to the hundreds pretty well, but the 50s not so much. So this is a little bit of a struggle. We are 30 points shy of where we probably ought to be for 1750. But that being said, we have a butcher as the hero for this army. We have another butcher and a Bruiser standard bearer. The Bruiser standard bearer is no longer part of the Gutbusters. He is actually still a part of the Ogre Kingdoms, but he is the ally. He's an ally for Gutbusters. Then we have the meat bus of 12 ogres. We have 2 mini buses, probably more like a suburban, with 3 ogres in it. And then we have the short bus back there with 6 Ironguts. We also brought 2 cannons and a gorger. And that is 1,720 points for ogres. We are going to be using the Destruction Alliance. We have Rampaging Destroyers as our battle trait. So each of the heroes will get to roll a die, pick a unit, and go run if they succeed their roll. The general will need a 4, and the other 2 heroes will need 6s to be able to make a unit either move 6 inches during the hero phase, pile in during the hero phase, or charge during the hero phase. Most of the time I pick move. And because we're outpointed by the Legions of Nagash, we get to be inspired, which means I will get to re-roll failed hit rolls for a unit once during the battle. This butcher is the general. He is a billowing tyrant, which allows a unit within 6 inches of him have a +1 to charge and run rolls, and use the general's bravery. He also has the battered talisman, which allows him to ignore a mortal wound on a 5-up. Alright, now we have the dead guys as Legions of Nagash. We're going to use these 4 Ion tokens from X-Wing as the grave sites for the Legions of Nagash today. We have as our champion a Vampire Lord mounted on a Nightmare. He has Master of Death and Death-Forged Chain as his battle trait and his artifact, respectively. He also has Spirit Gale as his chosen spell. He has 3 Necromancer friends. The one with the Eyeball token, also known as Focus, has Overwhelming Dread. The one with the Evade token is Fading Vigor, and then the other Necromancer has Decrepify. So his spell is very limited range and use, but it happens. We've got 2 blocks of 40 skeletons. These skeletons are sword and board, and this block of 40 skeletons is spears. We have 60 zombies, represented by the 20 actual zombie figures and the 2 trays that fit 30 models. He didn't have enough zombies. He thought he had more zombies, but we're going to put some stuff together, and then we figured out that nope, that was an empty box of sprues and some other bits. So that part sucked. However, I'm totally cool with letting him proxy and just take up the appropriate amount of space that the zombies need to be able to do their thing. But anybody in base contact will actually be a zombie model. And then we have a proxied corpse cart back there, represented by the skeleton chariot with the one guy facing the wrong direction.
He's the best driver ever.
And we have 10 Hexwraiths Again, these are also proxied because he doesn't have any other cavalry other than these skeleton steed guys who came out of Tomb Kings once upon a time. But again, totally cool with letting him proxy stuff because we're getting games in, and that's the important part. Do you remember what Master of Death does, or your Death Forge chain?
Master of Death lets me reroll deathly evocations for everyone within 6 inches of the general. Sorry, every unit that it was cast on within 6 inches of the general.
Okay, so a 6-inch aura of reroll of the invocation spell, which brings back units at the end of the turn.
Deathforge Chain returns,
that was Master of Death, and Deathforge Chain
returns 1 wound to the general at the beginning of the hero phase.
Okay, so the Vampire Lord, who already has an ability to heal things several times during the game, to include a one-shot chalice of a d6, will be getting 1 wound back every single turn. So I have a feeling he's going to get into some combat and want to wade into stuff.
No.
So we'll see how that goes. Undead player placed all of its units just before all of the ogres placed theirs. The Gorger is not on the table first turn. He comes in at the end of the ogre's first turn. All of these silver discs you see on the table are objectives. Let me take a step back away from the table so you can see the whole thing here. So there's one in the center of each of the 2-foot by 2-foot spaces our armies did not occupy at the beginning of the game. So, yeah, these are take and hold objectives, but you can take it by having more models at the thing than the other guy. So as soon as the undead get to a thing, they're going to have more models there. So this will be interesting. Yeah, we'll see how this works. That is deployment. Undead, are you taking first turn?
Yes.
Yes, okay. Alright, so the undead have advanced forward. They did get a spell off. This block of skeleton warriors with spears has Mystic Shield, which means they reroll failed saves of 1. The howling that you're going to hear during this game are puppies protesting being in puppy jail because they poop and pee on everything when they're in the house. So yeah, that just so you guys know. Ogre turn. End of turn 1. Ogres are in control of 1, 2 objectives for sure.
3.
Are you within 6 of this?
1 model, but it's close enough.
1 model. I have 1 as well. Okay, so nobody currently controls that objective. Ogres have 2. The zombies are not close enough to control that objective.
So you have 2 points to my 0.
Correct. There are ogres are up 2 points. The giant ogre block lost 1 guy, so now we're down to 11. The block of 40 skeletons is now down to 7. 20 of them died to combat. 13 of them ran away. And one ogre died to combat and nobody ran. Both units had Mystic Shield. The ogres did not roll any 1s in the saving part, so I didn't get to reroll any of my saves. And now it's time to... Oh, one more thing. The cannons of hits big giant units really good. Both failed. One of them failed to hit because he rolled 1 twice, and then one of them failed to wound because he rolled a 1 during the wound phase. So that was battle round... Oh. The Gorger's back there. Ignore those guys, they're dead. So these guys won't be coming back on turn 2, but they will get rejuvenated very well due to the 1, 2, 3 grave sites and
2 guys with it.
2 of the wizards that are close enough. So they're going to get 5d3, 2 of which can be rerolled. So they get at least 5, maybe 9 guys back. But that unit is probably not going to last this turn. So we'll see what shows up turn 2. Ogres pulled off a double turn, which was kind of helpful, but not anticipated. So the Guts decided to shield the cannon. The cannon shot at the Hexwraiths and failed. This cannon shot at the zombies, killed 5. Now they're down to 55 zombies instead of 60 zombies. I forgot to have the Gorger do anything because I'm an idiot and he's hiding back there. But he's 12 inches away from the corpse cart this turn. So, yeah. He probably would have made combat this turn. Dang it. Stupid Gorger hiding in the corner. But the big block of bulls wiped the 7 remaining skeletons, and the skeletons did not get a chance to hit any bulls. We are still outside of the pipeline range for the Vampire Lord. But the whole squad is gone, so that means the Legions of Nagash can just summon the entire 40 skeletons back to the field using a single command point. And put them 9 inches away from one of these things that well, really, I guess it's just going to be that grave site. Because that's the only one that their heroes are within 9 inches of. Maybe that one, but I don't think so. Either way, we just killed these things, and now they're going to show back up. Oh, the banner planted itself, decided not to move, and ate 1 skeleton and whiffed on the 2 heroes it was actually trying to eat. But yeah, now it's time for Legions of Nagash. Alright, so we figured out that the Legions of Nagash command ability, which is Endless Legions?
Yeah, Endless Legions.
Endless Legions allows the general to bring back a unit that has been slain, i.e., example 1, 40 zombies. Excuse me, 40 skeletons. I keep calling everything zombies because they're all dead. So they would have to come back within 9 inches of a gravesite that the general is in range of, and that didn't give the block of 40 skeletons enough room to all be deployed. So they don't show up this turn. So he's just probably, maybe, going to bank that command point, and they will show up later after these guys get trounced. We'll see. And we rolled the mock combat that might have happened if the Gorger had done his job, but he failed his charge. He got a run to be within 4 inches and then rolled a 2 on his charge. So that's how that happened. The 40-man block of skeletons each got to attack with 4 attacks. There were 9 guys who didn't swing, resulting in a 120-ish number of attacks. I didn't actually do the math. They had 75 hits and 20-something wounds. I saved a few of them, did not have any re-rolls. They killed 2.75 ogres. So they did 11 wounds worth. I have an ogre with 1 point left and 2 just straight dead ogres. So the ogres swung into... 7 of the ogres swung into the Hexwraiths because they haven't attacked yet. 2 of the ogres swung into the Skeleton Warriors. The attacks against the Warriors yielded 0 results because the Warriors passed their save. The Ogres were Fading Vigored, so they were at -1 attack each. But the Ogres did manage to kill 4 Hexwraiths. Let's see what the Hexwraiths can do against the Ogres. Alright, so the Hexwraiths were able to deal 4 wounds, which killed another model. And then the Ogres failed their bravery test and 2 more models ran. The Hexwraiths can run if they roll a 6. The Skeleton Warriors will not run at all. And the Hexwraiths just passed their bravery test by 1. Now it is time to start battle turn 3 and see what happens. End of turn 2. The Ogres have 1, 2 objectives. The Legions of Nagash have 2 objectives. So both armies increase their objective count by 2 points. The Ogres are currently sitting at 4, and Legions of Nagash are sitting at 2. If an objective is stolen, it counts as 1 more. For that turn, not subsequent turns. So here we go. Let's see if I can remember to move the Gorger. Top of turn 3, where the zombies have joined the fight. There are 47 of them left. These Ogres have managed to kill 13 of them between 2 of these suburban-sized units. The meat bus got eaten, you know, because they've only fought 80-some skeletons. And, how many of those Hexwraiths did I kill? 4, and
6, 7.
3 of them showed back up, and 1 of them died again. So, well, we fought 10, and then 3 more showed up. So, 13 Hexwraiths and 80-some skeletons. But the block of 12 Ogres is dead this turn. 4 of them died to combat, 2 of them ran away. But because they ran away, now it's down to the Ironguts, which means they can reroll failed hits and wounds and saves of 1 this turn, because things have ran away from the battle. The giant block of units, they got Fading Vigor and Overwhelming Dread cast on them. Overwhelming Dread went off twice. Overwhelming Dread is -1 to hit. So they were hitting on 6s, rerolling 1s. They got an abysmal number of hits, and Fading Vigor meant that they got 1 less attack. So they were down to 2 attacks apiece and hitting on 6s, rerolling 1s. Yeah, it's not a good day to be an Ogre. Yeah, let's see what the Ogres do now. So during the hero phase, the Ironguts got yelled at, and they moved their 6-inch move for rampaging destroyers. The Banner planted himself and went roar at things, caused 1 wound to the Vampire Lord, caused 2 wounds to the Hexwraiths, but they saved that. And then caused 2 wounds to the Necromancer that's laying on the ground, and then the Butcher ate him with voracious maw. It did not burp after dealing 2 wounds the first time, and then he just died. Unfortunately, it doesn't continue into another unit, because that would be awesome, but that's not cool enough to be a thing. You know, because we can't summon anything. We can't have cool spells that eat other things. I think this turn I might remember to move the Gorger, maybe, but we'll see. There's too many things over here. Not that he's going to do anything now. There's 40 skeleton spear guys between him and his objective. So at this point, there are 7 re-dead undead things. Fortunately, he doesn't get to bring the Necromancer back. Now it's time to move and then shoot this Vampire Lord to death. You know, because the cannons have hit once out of 4 tries. Alright, so here we go. Alright, so this is the Ogre turn. Ogre part of turn 3. Each of the colored Suburbans have lost 1 guy. The red Suburban lost the Banner, and the yellow Suburban lost the Bellower. The red Suburban has 2 wounds left on it. The zombies are down to 31 zombies. Yeah. That Butcher has taken a wound from a Hexwraith. The meat bus lost a dude and 3/4 of a dude. The Butcher was able to get an 11-inch charge and go attack the Vampire Lord.
Dealing 1 wound.
He dealt 1 wound, which the Vampire Lord will heal on his turn.
Retaliating with 3.
Yeah, the Vampire Lord did 3 wounds to the Butcher. The Butcher needs to get his shit together. My apologies, Internet. I said the bad word. However, the Ironguts were able to smash one horsey and some skeletons. We got that guy. He's dead, but he died in the hero phase. I just wanted to show you again because I finally killed an undead hero. He still has not done anything. He hasn't even like made somebody look at him. So yeah. Okay, so the ogres still have 1 point. The zombies are outnumber the ogres. So the undead get 2 points here. So undead gets 2, 3, 4 points. Ogres get 1 point. Now the undead have a point advantage of 1. So the current point totals are 6 to 5.
6 for the legions of Nagash, 5 for the horde of destructive.
Let's see what happens next. During the hero phase, just with the casting parts, I haven't decided what my command point's going to be yet, but the banner was able to eat a horse and a half.
Nothing.
And then Voracious Maw from the Butcher ate a wizard, and I gained a wound. Because when the Butcher casts a spell, he shoves his fist in his mouth full of food and things. If I roll a 1, he like bites his own hand off or something. I'm not really sure. But he takes a wound. On any other number, he heals a wound. So he's back up to 5 wounds. And the other wizard took Arcane Bolt to the face. And I probably should have done that to the Vampire Lord, but it happens. So we'll see how this goes. What?
Deathless.
Alright, so time to move and shoot and stuff. Before I forget to say anything, one of the cannons shot the Vampire Lord off of his horse. He died. And the other cannon shot at zombies and missed. There's only 31 of them. I'm not sure how I missed, but okay. Yeah. So... Oh, and the Butcher and the Gorger both are... I would say double team this Necromancer, but that sounds inappropriate. They're both going to attack this...
That's a very appropriate price.
They're going to attack the last character the Necromancers brought.
He has 1 attack.
He has 1 attack. Well, he has to defend against 5 attacks from the Butcher. Excuse me, 5 attacks from the Gorger and 2 attacks from the Butcher.
He has a 6-up save.
So, yeah, here we go. Alright, 2 more Ironguts died this turn. 6 skeletons out of that block died. 3 Hexwraiths died. The Vampire Lord died in the shooting phase. The Butcher should have attacked, but I forgot that he was there, so he didn't attack. But the Gorger did. So that the only death hero left on the table has 2 wounds, but he's surrounded by all of his friends with giant pokey sticks.
Doesn't matter when you have Voracious Maw.
The Butcher's dead. There's still another Butcher over here. He's now in charge of everything, and he has Wild Fury, which means because he's taken a wound, he now reroll. He has a +1 to hit, so he hits on 3s, wounds on 3s now. There are 22 zombies left over here. The red Suburban took a wound, and then the other guy ran away. But the yellow Suburban is still here, but there are still 22 zombies. Hopefully the cannons will help. We'll see how that goes. Alrighty then. Now it is time. Ooh, wait a minute. Skeletons have 1. Excuse me. Legions of Nagash have 1, 2, 3 points. Ogres have 1 point.
It's not bottom of the turn.
In the movement phase, the Hexwraiths ran over the Ironguts and caused 2 mortal wounds, which killed a dude and left the banner bearer with 3 wounds. End of turn 4. The zombies have eaten the 2 remaining members of the Yellow Suburban. There's lots of dead skeletons over here. There's 3 guys left. 5 of them ran away.
Captain's still here.
But yeah. The Gorger died before he got to go.
Good.
These guys, they died before they got to go.
Also good.
So, but the Ironguts, they did some work, and that Butcher attacked some more stuff over there. So, yeah. That is still controlled by the Undead Legions. This is controlled by the Undead Legions. That one is still controlled because there are 3 skeletons within range and only 2 ogres. Yeah. The Hexwraiths are making their way towards that last one. But I still have 2 cannons, a banner, a butcher, 2 Ironguts, and that's all the ogres that are left on the table. So there's going to be lots of shooting happening in the next turn. At least for the ogres. Oh, and magic. And the banner. So I think it's safe to say that the ogres lose because we couldn't get that Necromancer killed. He ran away from the Gorger, which was a really good idea. I'm not sure that he can actually run into another unit, but that's for somebody better at this than me to decide.
The open gaps.
So, yeah, that is. Yeah, if the Legions of Nagash beat my roll right now for the next turn, we're gonna call it in favor of Legion. I got a 3. You win.
8.
Yeah, we roll 2d6 because we like more variation, but my dice hate me and they want to go to bed because it's 1 o'clock in the morning right now.
1:30.
1:30. Yeah, we should have started this earlier. Well, that's another freaking win for Lumpy. Yeah, I'm unhappy with. I'm happier with this game than I have been with any of the other games. But yeah, this was painful.